coziness, homeostasis, flow. These three words should run concurrent with you, Virgo. But if these words aren't your reality, and it's not something that you cater for in your day-to-day, and if you don't create homeostasis in your stomach, homeostasis in your mind, homeostasis in the physical body, and then the same for flow, and the same for whatever else I said in the beginning, I know there were three, then at the end of the day, you are allowing the predictability of that Mercury planet to rule everything that is happening in how you experience your human experience. Remember now, Virgo, you are you like Hermione. You know Harry Potter? Virgo is like Hermione. You are a phenomenal student, and where I want to teach you about yourself, or about what is part of yourself, is how to get into the point where you're able to observe what I observe so clearly with the Virgo energy, but then also sit back and understand at what point do you not become the predictability. For example, one area where I really worry about Virgos is their lower backs, their relationship with their spines, and then equally so their relationship with sleep. If the spine and the lower back, which is the root chakra and that psychic chamber, if these two areas are not in cohesion, your spine is the very thing that connects anything from the bottom with everything from the top, and everything from the top connected to everything with the bottom. And that is exactly what we're trying to achieve. That's essentially a form of flow when you look at that top-down, bottom-up structure. You guys get excited, you get a boner when you do that in the flippin' corporate world. When you do that societal 9-to-5 thing, Virgo. Oh, you love the whole, I'm working up towards. Get an erection for a promotion. Or anytime you are progressing, the titles that you get, I'm a head of this, I'm a senior this, I'm a doctor. Flip and put it even in your email signature. And give it. It's such a Virgo thing. You know, when I did the Virgo bootcamp in 2024, this year, but maybe some of you are only going to watch this video next year, because we're about 5 days away from next year, I think. The Virgo bootcamp we did, I can't tell you how many Virgos had their email signature with some kind of title that, personifies what they're doing or what Virgo is doing within them. This goes very deep. I want you to imagine that if at any point you go through the series and you hear about things that show up in your personality and your day-to-day understanding of life, you must sit back and say, is there a place where Nathaniel can sit with me to observe what is within me? And if there is that place, I can then do what Nathaniel's doing in providing the awareness, and you can do that for yourself. Then you don't have to book a reading with me or go to a Virgo bootcamp. You can literally create a point of differentiation between how energy flows through us, and if we don't have discernment based on how we grew up, based on how our stomachs were nurtured. And for you, Virgo, a healthy stomach is everything. I think most of you know this. I assume most of you know this. You are wise enough innately to know that health is something that just being healthy comes and will build as a natural occurrence. You might not get it right in the beginning, but later on in your years, you will start realizing how your body is talking to you. And like I said, there by the spine and the root is the two areas. Every time I do a reading with Virgos, when I meet a Virgo, I always pick up that they struggle with sleep, they struggle to find peace, and there's a constant regulation that needs to take place. But I'm like, 100% yes. If you know that all these areas are touch points and you have something that you're doing already to look after it, the lighting is really bad, hey? Let's do that. Okay, cool. Oh, that's better. Yeah, then you know that there's a relationship with homeostasis, flow that you need to create. How you do that, I can't stress how yoga is one of the best things I could possibly offer to a Virgo. To get your root chakra and your spine finally sorted out, and you can avoid surgeries, and you can avoid normalizing being on a computer, normalizing overextending your working hours. If you can avoid normalizing these areas, I promise you, and you start taking up yoga, especially if you go to a practice and your intention of the practice is out of your own free will, and you are doing it to develop your own relationship with your body, as opposed to what you're trying to show off because you bought this yoga mat and you wearing this. There's a deep fascia massaging we are doing in the knaters of your spirit, the balls of your soul, for goodness sakes. We want to try and move away from the external as much as we can so that we can massage the internal depths of observation, where we see this Virgo energy, and then we can provoke seeing thyself. And if this is achieved, we are in a place of meditation. If this is achieved, we are in a place of enlightenment. Is this something that you should chase after fast, quickly? No. If you only do anything about what I'm saying and what anything else you educate yourself on that correlates with what I'm saying, if you only do anything about that in the next 20 years, blessed are thy, or blessed is thee. I'd kiss your feet and say, you are mighty powerful. Why are you kissing my feet, Nathaniel? You took your time. You found your time. You were not coerced by me nor the message. You just knew the truth, and you have an awareness of the truth. But to chase after the truth means you are stuck in a masculine, and that's not your reality. You must choose from your reality, and the reality has nothing to do with how you perform here on the 3D level. It has everything to do with how you exist and maintain existence in the fourth dimensional, and based on how your soul is grown, whether there's a connection to the fifth, higher planes, etc., etc. You are very, very special energy if you are touched by the Virgo energy, especially if it's dominant in your natal chart. But we need to get to the point where we are progressing in a relationship with what really regulates observation and awareness, because it is this very space that you enjoy. It is that subtlety that, when Virgos, you enjoy working late in the hours, studying late in the morning hours, doing things later in the evening. A lot of your study work, learning work, creative work, whatever it is, will be in the morning hours. Did you ever wonder why? Did you ever wonder why? Why is it that in subtlety, where everybody else is calm, the evening is calm, the sun is set, the moon is out, now is like when I'm alive, Nathaniel. Now is when I'm yearning for that damn dark chocolate. And now is when I'm ready to dive into this, rabbit hole. And I'll say, well, you have a relationship with subtlety, but if I was like your flippin' teacher, in understanding who you are with Virgo in you, I would, like a sensei, be like, don't be the predictability, observe the predictability. But there's something you need to do to first get to that point so that you can observe. And it has everything to do with the one thing you struggle with: surrender. That's why half of you have to go do flippin' psychedelics. I'm not saying you must. I'm just saying I meet a lot of Virgos that are ayahuasca freaks. But even the process of how they do that is too fast and too quick, and they're talking about, hey, I did it in a group, and I'm like, there's the issue right there. You are the moon and you are the sun. You are You are such a solar system. You are too big to be doing such journeys with other people. We must concentrate purely on a Virgo, and your empathic nature, your giving nature, your leadership nature, you will always stand out as someone who, whether it's amongst your friends, your family, your relationship, you will always stand out at work as the one who has their wits about them. But I'm like, at what point do you have that experience with something else? And it does exist, it's just about provoking it. But it has everything to do with surrender, meaning whatever you think is important, you gotta genuinely believe is not important. If you can do that in your stomach without having fear and anxiety, and you can think that thought or feel that experience of saying that thing without fear, and you say it with a knowing, whew, very different experience we evoking now. And if we can regulate your spine and regulate your root, your connection to your psychic ability becomes astronomical. The dreams become flowing, and now the quality of the dream becomes provoked, because we're not just dreaming for dreaming's sake, and that's something you guys do. Your dreams can get very convoluted, but it's like you don't protect the windows that see, observe, and there's so many vampires that chase after the attention that wants your Virgo mind. Learn about yourself, Virgo. You are a library within stillness. In week 3 of the bootcamp, or week 4, do you know what we're doing? We're doing stillness. Absolute stillness. You will practice the exercises I have prepared where you will really understand stillness. This is where your depth and your knowledge and all the things you seek to understand about your human experience, our human experience, it's sitting there by you. It's not by a shaman, it's not far away, it's there by you, Virgo. But you have to do the thing that you karmically was integrated in why you were given this challenge of Virgo. You have to do the thing that it struggles with. Surrender. Let go. It's not that big of a deal. If you can practice these themes, who knows? Who knows what happens? I don't even know. All I know is that when I see Virgo, I think of flow. And when Virgo thinks of themselves, they think of something very different to flow. And only the older Virgos realize that flow is important, but flow. Very, very important for you, Virgo.